sunk an enemy destroyer.
Hey team, this is Ripper here. What you guys are doing? Fantastic today. Got a really fun video about the new Unbreakable Line. Again, this mode literally, I believe, will replace randoms in a sense because, I mean, not in the sense of randoms will go away altogether. Randoms is still there, but it actually will be, again, kind of like the Call of Duty style mindset where you actually have a mode where you respawn and you're fighting against objectives, which is why I think World of Warships would have been initially anyways. That's the way I thought the design of World of Warships was supposed to be. But if you ever play these kind of fast-paced first-person shooters, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But as always, before we begin, like, subscribe, button below. Appreciate all the supporters of the channel. If you see value in what we're doing here, appreciate the support. And we can't thank you guys that have already supported us to keep on going. So let's get right to it. All right, so if you've ever played a game where it's player versus player, like Call of Duty, Battlefield, whatever on the consoles, even back in the day, like games like Halo and all that, you understand there are respawn moments and you fight it for objectives. And I think that's what the struggle with World of Warships was before, where it was just the random mode where you basically get killed and the game's over and you're stuck in that game mode until the game is over, and then you can start a new round with that ship you're playing. And then World Gaming saw a problem with that because many people were dying. They were frustrated that I only have this one ship. How can I play? So they then introduced that fact that when you die, you go back to port, and then you get to play that ship again. Now, you're in this game where you die, you come back immediately into that same round, and now you're fighting against the same objective. And I think that is what the solution is to this game that, quite frankly, I think was dying. And then I'm a World of Warship fan. I love this game from the day it became, a big hit back in the day. And it's still going on to this day. If you think about it, it's been coming out for over 8+ years now. Oh my gosh! I mean, I don't even remember the time frame, but my goodness, it is a great game, and it's still living up to this day. But I think it was dying and lacking because the fact that it didn't have the mode that you're seeing right here, which is basically kind of domination in Call of Duty or Battlefield, whatever. All these first-person shooters, where you come in and play the objective. That's all you focus on. Now, randoms, I think, it won't go away. It will still be a mode. However, I really do think if they introduce this mode into tier 10 level, you're going to see a lot more people leaving randoms and playing this. Because I look at randoms as if you're a Call of Duty kind of fan like I am, it's kind of like DMZ and Warzone, where you go into a map and see who can be king of the hill and survive the longest, but once you die, you're out of the game. That's kind of like what randoms feels like. At least with this, you can actually try out different ships and last the long run, see how it works. And that's why I like, Unbreakable Line, because of the respawn. You really get to try out different techniques and tactics. You're like, hey, I'm actually pushing in. I actually can angle. I actually can try, hey, my ship has torpedoes. Can I push in and actually torpedo this guy? Can I try secondaries? Can I try this survivability? I mean, so many avenues as opposed to being one-sided randoms where everyone sits in the back of the map. They don't want to die. They don't want to lose their ship, and it's over. So that's my thought. All right, let's talk about this match right here. I've got off my soapbox about the other one, but we'll talk about why Unbreakable Line is way more fun. The fact that you can push in and save the day, there's so many moments I like in Unbreakable Line where it could literally be the game-changing moment where it brings the game back. You're noticing this game right here, the Rupprecht, really powerful secondary battleship from the German line. And look at that, torpedoes right there, and boom, look at that. You can try out little things like that now, where you're going in, guns blazing. Look, I'm going in, I'm taking out 2 guys right off the bat. Now I got to take on the next target here, try to figure out how do I survive this? How do I angle? When do I use my consumables? When do I got to hold the consumables? When do I need to maybe pop smoke for a destroyer? Or maybe when do I need to use the Hydra to watch for, maybe torpedoes coming my way? All types of tactics here you're trying out. And look, even though I died, I'm not frustrated. Guess what? I'm going to come back into the game. Here, I'll speed it up. You don't know, you come back in the game super fast, efficiency, low concealment, everything, to get yourself back into the action right away. And I love that fact because you understand where the enemy was, what mistake you made, and now you get to come back and actually change the course of the battle. And that's why I love this mode so much. It's so awesome. I really think, Wargaming, this mode will replace randoms as top mode that people are going to play. And I hope you do bring this back and make this a permanent part of the game, because you're going to notice that more and more people are going to start playing it once they actually watch videos like this. Once they see people playing it, they're going to see this is way more enjoyable, way more fun, way more action. You're going to see people buying more ships, using more ships, doing different commander builds. You're going to make so much more money than randoms. I'm really going to say that. This is way better. Another key component, there are no submarines or carriers. And like I said, that mode, if you want to play that mode, go play it in randoms or whatever, because that's what it's designed for, because it just doesn't make sense for this kind of mode. Boom, there it is. Splash 3. Man, we're up to 138,000. You're going to see a great game, the Rupprecht here. I think we make a comeback in that. And that's exactly why I've made so many comebacks in this mode, as opposed to randoms where once you're dead, you're dead. You can't make a comeback. But dude, this game has so many potentials for being comebacks, and it's totally awesome. Now, why I picked Tier 9 Rupprecht, some of the best secondary. Back in the day, the Rupprecht was the king of secondaries. Now, I do believe the new Pan American or Pan Asian, whatever it's called. I think it's Pan American. Pan American, that's right. There is a Pan Asian line, but there's the Pan American battleships, the secondaries. I think they take the cake right now, and really. The Rupprecht is still powerful with the Schlieffen and everything. Man, they have powerful secondaries that do the, FIFHE. You can pin a lot of, the superstructure, maybe some of the low 32 mil areas. Really, really awesome. The fire rate. I love the fire rate on these things. Look at the amount of shells we're pumping out right now. It is a machine gun of secondaries, and that's why we like it a lot. Man, this is also incredible right here. The 406 millimeter guns are awesome on the Rupprecht. Yeah, 406 millimeter, big caliber guns. Love it. It's got torpedoes. It's got hydro. It is awesome. Quick damage It's literally designed to be going in for these kind of modes of going in brawling and saving the day. So let's see here. We're next focused on the... Ooh, Vizima gets blown up right now. All right, so look at this. We're actually kind of equal right here. So really... Now you got to time it correctly because as you respawn, your team is, or as your team is respawning, we're all like all over the place. And I think that the key to winning these matches is really to time your deaths correctly and position when you're respawning back in the game. Because if you die onesie twosies here and there, everybody's staggered respawn. It takes a while. It still does take time to get back in the game and get your guns to bear. So if you can hold a place and wait for your teammates to arrive at the same time you arrive and get all your guns focused on one guy, I think that is a solution to winning the game. Rather than staggering 1, 2, 3, 4 at a time, people just get focused down and murdered down. So it behooves you to really see if you can wait for your teammates, hold the flank as much as you can, and wait for your teammates to get in the action, and that way you can start employing your weapon systems in order to keep your team in the game while capturing points. Look, I'm in the middle here. Here's the sweet spot right here. If you notice this sweet spot right here, if you're in the middle, you cap basically both points on the minimap. If I can hold this position, cap both points, and kill people at the same time, man, oh man, can you really bring the points back in your favor for your team? And that's what I'm trying to do here. And that's why it's so interesting in these modes where you're like, wow, what can I try this time? And see what I could do and after I die, or after I try this tactic, or after I kill this guy, what can I do? And that's what's so fun about the Unbreakable Line. I'm telling you, you don't do this much in randoms. You can't really experiment too much. And that's why this mode will bring back life to a game that I think literally is kind of slowly dying. All right, we're at 3 kills, 223,000 damage. I mean, you're going to see this game get up into the 300,000 range. Man, I couldn't do that in randoms. I mean, but now you can, and it's really, really enjoyable and fun. All right, we got the heavy tanker. I did a video about the Valparaiso. Man, this thing is the juggernaut, and I have to figure out how to kill this guy and get him out of the game because, now, again, this is a tactic. How do I get the most broken, OP, survivable ship out of the game? Well, either I ram him, and I think that's a solution. Either ram the Valparaiso, get him out of the game, or do what I'm doing right now, torp him. Let's see right here. I'm exposing a lot of broadside now, but look at these torpedoes, and boom, he goes down. I take out the Valparaiso, their juggernaut. Now I'm going to just keep on pushing in and see if I can take out another guy here, either the John Bart or the Vyazma. If I can take the Vyazma and the John Bart out, this would really give an advantage to my team. We're kind of neck and neck on points here. Okay, I take out the John Bart right there. That was good on us. We're at 300,000 damage right there, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. Guns firing on both sides. Secondaries blazing. The gunners are working overtime right here. We got a Bismarck on our left. He takes us out. But his is also a good thing. You don't necessarily have to win by actually killing the ships. You can win literally just pushing the enemy back so that they don't get in the caps. And that is another tactic you can do. You can either push the enemy out, you can either kill the enemy, or hold a cap long enough for you to actually accumulate the points. So it's so many ways of winning rather than just outright killing, and actually requires you to think about the position of your ship, their positioning, your angling, your actual aiming of the guns, or what target to focus on first. So many different aspects of this game are introduced that are not in randoms. In randoms, again, you may have onesie-twosie situations that are like this mode in randoms, but again, very far and few between. So right now, what do we have? What situation we have? We have the Bismarck pushing in, and he gets taken out right now so that we have a chance to cap Alpha, and that could bring us back in the game. Notice the points are very, very close to each other. Again, this game could be anybody's. I mean, that's another good thing is you don't know which game this could go in favor of, because it's not like randoms where it can be a one lopsided like blowout. You actually can't really have many blowouts in this game because why? You keep respawning back in the game, and you kind of figure out, hey, where do I need to position my ship this time? So I like that fact because I think blowouts are kind of boring after a while. You know, once everybody is on the other team's almost dead and there's only 2 people left, like a submarine and a carrier, it's not really fun anymore. But this is fun because everybody comes back in the game and we get to figure out how can we employ the next round, just like Call of Duty and Battlefield. After you die, you respawn, you come back in, you try out another tactic. And that's exactly why this will take the cake. And I'm telling you, Wargaming, keep this mode. You will make so much more money, and you will have so much more fans, and people will come back and play this game. Trust me, I've already heard people saying, hey, this line came back. I'm actually installing World of Warships again. I want to play this game again because of this mode. There are no carriers and subs, which is the reason why a lot of people left the game, carriers and subs. Based on what the comments I've read, Reddit, everything, people really just gave up after submarines and carriers, but now you're bringing back everybody. Even carrier and sub players can still be in the game because they're still randoms. You can still play the game. If you want to play seven carrier, you still play randoms. However, the other half of the equation is people want to play games. This is what World of Warships was supposed to be. So this is kind of going to bring those people back, I think. I hope. And I'm all about that. Let's make more friends. Let's have more people playing this game. Bring a bigger community and make it better, all right? All right, here we go. So we got 4 people here. We got Valparaiso on the right, John Bard, Rochester, North Carolina. We got to figure out, man, which target is going to make more sense right now. So I got Valparaiso right here. We are losing by literally about 55 points. We're going to have to hold these caps. If we lose the caps, we start losing the points even more. We'll have a bigger point spread. So I'm going to have to angle. Man, I got to angle against somebody. I choose the Valparaiso because he's probably the more deadlier of the bunch. So we're going to get our secondaries firing on him. Meanwhile, we're trying to burn down the Rochester on our left. We've got torpedoes. This is kind of, I'm almost dead here. That last minute salvage because I might lose my torpedoes here, tubes. I do realize I do lose a lot of torpedo tubes in these rounds, man. They've already busted 2 of them. I mean, I'm losing every. When we get the Rochester finally. All right, man, if they introduce tier 10 to this mode, it'd be wild. I can't imagine having tier 10s in this game, in this mode. It's going to be literally a gun shoot fest, especially with gun, ships with sap and everything. Oh, man, it's going to be crazy. All right, so our torpedoes did little avail. Let's speed this up. Let's get back in the game, and we win. Holy crap, we did. We held them off, and look, 399,000 points. See, all you have to do is really hold the enemy team off at bay so that they don't come back and take the cap. 6 kills, look at that. Oh, my gosh, 996 hits of secondaries. Number 1, 3,000 base HP. Or XP, and look at the amount of secondary. This is exactly why the ships were designed, is to have the secondaries fire in the thousands of volleys. That's exactly why this game is so much fun. Secondary, 188,000 damage in secondaries, torpedoes, 80,000, almost 400k damage. My goodness, what more can I say? Okay, let's take a look at a couple more games. And I've been trying out different ships. Again, this is why it's so much fun. You get to try out a different mode, a different ships, different tactics and styles, and it's endless. If you get to pick any kind of battleship, you can try different types of modes and different types of tactics. So let's take a look at another one. All right, so now we're in the Iwami, another ship, a battleship that I really did enjoy, but I didn't want to play it in randoms too much anymore because for some reason it just didn't work. But man, does it work in this mode really effectively and well as... Oh, man, it's so much fun now. I mean, Iwami, if you don't know, is the IGN line of, great big caliber guns that are super accurate. I love them a lot. 410 millimeters. And look at this. Nice, just that nice dispersion right there. And just, firing, it feels so comfortable. Only 8 guns, though, so kind of along the lines of that Ohio kind of build. But, oh, man, nice hit on us. And it doesn't matter. Let's just pop the hills, get it back in the game, and, man, everybody's shooting at us right here. So this is why I like Iwami so much, because the secondaries are some of the most accurate guns. It's almost like you have a Haraguma strapped to your side, or a Kitakaze. There's only 4 of them, but they are super accurate. And I noticed that Iwami, when I was playing Destroyer, would always hit me with their secondary guns. I was like, why are they so darn accurate? I think they get some kind of buff or kind of... improved dispersion or whatever it may be, accuracy to the guns, kind of like along the lines of Ohio kind of secondaries, man. But they are powerful, man. They start a lot of fires, and they are super accurate against destroyers. All right, we got the Zeton coming in on us right now. We're going to fire right into his nose right there. Look at that, 11,000 damage right off the bat. And we're just going to sit here, and this is kind of a great demonstration of just tanking, what a battleship's supposed to do. Literally sit here, show your face, hold the line, and go, hey, stop, you shall not pass. And Buffalo gets taken out by Iowa. Great shot right there. And again, this opens up so many avenues of getting shots on, trying out different tactics, different aiming abilities. Like, where do I need to hit to get this guy? Do I need to shoot the nose? Do I get a shot right off the cheek? Do I get a citadel? It actually helps you practice more as opposed to sitting in the back sniping as random does. Again, I think this mode will bring back The idea of close-in brawling, close-in matches, better shots, better aiming, trying to figure out how to angle and actually improve that right there. All right, Zeton goes down right there. Focus firing actually back. People are actually starting to maneuver closer, actually starting to communicate, actually starting to focus fire on people rather than just, I want to sit in the back, hide behind islands. Now, I will say that on occasion, there are onesie-twosie guys that are treating this game like it's a randoms, where they're literally sitting in the back, hiding behind islands. Trust me, that does not work too much in this game mode. You can't just sit behind an island and not cap a point, because you notice the game is shorter. I think they're only about 12 minutes long, and the cap points do tick up pretty darn quickly, and the game is over after that. All right, full broadside Minnesota right here. Let's take a look at our shot. Will they make in? Look at that amount of damage right there we put in, and also secondaries, guns blazing, and we take them out with secondaries. Secondaries are super darn powerful. And look, right off the bat, the enemy is already coming back in, and Buffalo's already back in the action, and that's why I like it a lot. The enemy's just constantly coming back, more targets to shoot at, as opposed to sailing around, not really thinking. I felt like, you know, in the randoms mode, I felt it was more of World of Sailing Ships, as opposed to actually, hey, let's actually play this game and use battleships to actually battle, instead of just sailing ships around looking for a pesky submarine that's underwater, or a carrier that's at the Alpha 10 line. But anyways, I digress about that. Have I told you how much I don't like randoms anymore? This game literally takes the cake. All right, full broadside Siegfried here. Ooh, do we get this nice shot right here? All right, we aim right above the water line. Let's see where those shells go. Oh, he gets taken out before I could even get a shot. All right, here we go. Here's the brawling situation right here. We got a Zoom, Metz on the left, a Zama on the left. We got a Buffalo on the right, a Zumo off our nose. Holy crap, what kind of a situation? What do we do in this situation here? Who do we target first? Who's the bigger threat? Again, this is exactly why some of these decision-making situations always approach us, and we're kind of going like, what do I do? Front two guns, come on, baby. And ooh, we get a nice 6,000 hit right there. And we can bring the back turrets in the game. Come on, Buffalo. If he angles, maybe if we shoot off his nose, will the shells go in? And look, Buffalo's got to figure out, how do I angle against everybody here? Okay, we're going to fire right at the nose here. Will this... Oh, look at that terrible dispersion right there. And we get some damage, some chip damage. And there we go. Secondaries are focused now on the Buffalo. Let's see if we can get him out first. And he goes down. Way to go. Now we got Izumo off the nose. And again, demonstration of the tanking. You'll see so many potential damage markers tick up to the millions. Couple millions of potential damage. You may get in randoms, but dude, man, I'm in the 3 to 4 million potential damage ranges in these game modes, which is so fun. That means that, hey, more people are engaging, more people are shooting. Look at that, we're holding Alpha and Bravo cap now, so we got to see King of the Hill here. Who can outlast the other team in holding these cap points? And it forces the other team to actually push in and try to figure out. And there's no fear of dying, because you're going to come back. That's why I like the fact that there's no fear of actually risking your ship now, and it opens up the avenue of gameplay so much. Firing at the cheek of the Izumo right there, getting a lot of nice juicy damage right there. We got torpedoes on the Izumo, but we're not going to. I'm sorry, the Iwami. We're not going to use them. Nobody's close in right now. Now we're kind of just holding and figuring out where can I best employ our weapon system in order to get the most damage and inflict the most pain right there. Brest, look at that. A cruiser going against a battleship and pushing. My gosh, I wouldn't see that too much in randoms, but you're seeing a lot more now in this competitive game mode here in Unbreakable Line. So let's go right here. All right, we got... I would actually be surprised if they actually introduced this into clan battles. This actually is kind of like the clan battle mentality. I mean, look, 7 versus 7. People actually trying to push in, use strategy, figure this out. I think this actually might be a good game mode for clan battles, because why? It opens up the avenue of different tactics. Ooh, look at that shot right there, blasting right through the front, and he goes down, and we sit and tank, and that is the power of Iwami right there. Man, they're a really, really fun ship. Let's take a look at another ship I do enjoy, and we'll see how it goes. All right, last game here, again with the overpowered Valparaiso, and really, it's not about the weapon systems or guns, it's really just the consumables overpowered. I mean, being able to heal back 7 times without any basically disregard for time is freaking powerful in my personal opinion, and it's really difficult to overcome. And really what I found, in order to beat the Valparaiso, is just stay outside of its secondary range, and it really just dies really quick. I mean, it's a Vanguard, it's got very weak armor, on my personal opinion. The guns are nothing to gawk at, and it's really just the ability to just come back and heal back over and over again. It really is just a juggernaut. It's just like in Call of Duty, you got a Juggernaut that has a shield. That's all it's good for. It's really there to tank damage, to wait for your team to actually kind of come in and mop up the rest of the enemy force. Now, I'm not saying it can't fight it and hold its own. It just takes a long time. And I think that's why it's really effective in that sense. And it actually works. It focuses on team play because a Valparaiso cannot literally just sit there and kill everybody by itself. It actually relies on other teammates, but it's there to be the wall to absorb damage and punishment and wait for your team to come up and mop up everybody later. Full broadside Michelangelo over here. Again, there's a shot where this should literally still all the crap out of him, but bupkis. Right now, you don't really get too much right there, non-pen. So again, the guns are underwhelming in my personal opinion. However, it's really, really tanky. Like I said, it's a very powerful shield, and you're going to see this game. I mean, what you can do with this thing is incredible. Where you're kind of in a defensive mode rather than an offensive mode. And I'm not saying the secondaries can't do things as well. They are only just far and few between. There's not many of them. That's the problem. Valparaiso, I see the angles are terrible. I can only get maybe 3 of the guns to fire as opposed to 4 of them, and 4 is not much anyway. So I've only got 75% of my secondaries really firing. You see right there the 3 kind of guns that are firing, and now I'm giving a little bit more angle. Look how much angle I have to get that Imperenga here to get maybe that back turret to fire. Yeah, it's just not there. But do we start a lot of fires? Now, the gimmick, if you don't know, the Valparaiso, if you get the secondary hits enough, it charges up the funny button, the F key there, and it brings back your damage con and heals super fast. So that's really the gimmick, and that's really it. No torpedoes, no hydro, no radar, no nothing other than just the gimmick of heals. So let's see what we can do here. Imperenga is trying to push him. Now, Imperenga is that Pan-American battleship line that has great secondary. So if we can get him out, and boom, he goes down. There's the first one. And look at that. We're still taking damage. Almost scratched the paint to our ship. Not too much damage done to us right now. And again, that's the most difficult part of this game of Valparaiso is to dislodge a Valparaiso holding a line. Look at that. F key is hit. We get our damage con back, put out every single fire. No need to have an unnecessary fire. Why? Because, look, the secondary's already charging up my funny button key again. So, quick funny button and a quick heals and damage cons. Very, very powerful in World of Warships. If you had this ability on every ship would just be surviving everything. So, it'd be like, what's the point? All right, but you got secondaries on both sides firing now. So we're getting, look, funny button is charged up again. Iwami on our left, Iowa on our right here. Secondary range is incredible. I wish all secondaries were at 12 kilometers. That'd be pretty fun, wouldn't it? You would actually encourage more brawling. All right, Jaeger's in front of us, so we got 4 ships in front of us right now. See, this is these situations where you got to figure out, okay, who do I have to mitigate my damage from? Look, we're getting shot from the right from the Palmer in here. Palmer is actually making a comeback, by the way. Palmer is a powerful, powerful ship. I definitely encourage you guys to get the Palmer. It is a powerful Tier 9 battleship. Great secondaries, great guns. Does everything you need it to do. It's got torpedoes, it's got hydro. It's got everything you need for a good battleship and good brawler. All right, so we got secondary. Finally, we get the turrets firing on the left and the right here. Even the back turret. Look at the back turrets are not firing. I mean, these angles are horrendous for the Valparaiso. So you only get 3 of the guns firing, so you're only getting 75% of your firepower on each side. So let's see here. All right, Palmer is showing a lot of broadside on our right flank here. He's trying to flank us, so we got to watch him. We got torpedoes in the front here. All right, Iwami goes down. Jaeger's on our right at the 2 o'clock position, so we'll get the secondaries firing in the Jaeger. Then the secondaries on the Valparaiso are very, very good and accurate. I do like them, and they're very good. Secondary, kind of like the American secondaries, very powerful, very good. They don't penetrate as much. Only up to 21 millimeters, so not the greatest of pen, but hey, we get it. Oh, Jaeger, see the accuracy of the Valparaiso secondaries are very good. They're there. All right, we pop the heals and the damage con to come back to life. And we're going into zombie mode here, where we're going to survive against the Palmer. Look, we start a lot of fires, too, by the way. These secondaries are very accurate. They hit the superstructure. They're just going to keep constantly starting fires on you. That is a one good thing about the secondaries in the Valparaiso. So we're going to see if we can keep them going. And then the more and more secondaries we get, that funny button just keeps on charging. It never goes away, man. It's pretty awesome. And I think this mode was designed for this ship because it's just impossible to dislodge the Valparaiso. Once it's sitting there and tanking, man, it's hard. When the secondaries are constantly hitting, it just gets that funny button key over and over again. It's really tough to get it off its high horse here and get it off the center stage. All right, even though, look, we've lost Alpha and Bravo Cap, we can still come back and push in and take it back. See, because the enemy, even though they respawn, are way in the back here, and they're being staggered. And that's the downside. It's all about timing. You got to be able to wait for your team to come in and push together. Otherwise, you guys are just going to focus down one by one, and it really gets you nowhere. So that's what I've found that works well in the this mode is really you're going to have to time your respawns and your friendlies coming back. And you don't have to rush in right away. You can, like I do what I'm doing right here, going in quarter speed, kind of just holding off the enemy from kind of taking that the initial positions and holding those positions. And if you can just slowly wither down one ship at a time and then open up an avenue for your team to go in and cap for your destroyers or for your fast cruisers, it really gives the confidence for your team to go in and take those spots, especially as a battleship player. And I really do enjoy the battleship play style in this game now. More so than the destroyer. I'm sorry to say that I'm treating the battleship like the destroyer now, where I'm going in and capping and spawning and doing all types of things now. So I guess you could say I'm treating the battleship like a destroyer in this mode. And I think that is a very interesting thing to say, and that's what this game mode does bring. All right, so we got secondaries firing the Kitakazi and Michelangelo here. See the back turret finally firing here. That's a horrendous angle right there. I mean, I almost have to show almost literally 75% broadside right there to get that back turret to really fire. All right, we take out Michelangelo with fires. Again, we're getting a lot of secondary fires going on. Oh, my goodness, look at all these torpedoes right here. And let's see here. We'll angle in. We take 1, 2, 3. It's okay. We'll heal it all back. Look at that. Secondaries are still charging it up. Or actually, hold on. Funny button hasn't been activated yet. Once they go down, look at that. Damage con and heal goes down. We want to have them back up and ready to go again. And guess what? We'll hit the funny button key. We'll hit the funny button key at any moment right here. Come on. I don't like having that 60-second cooldown. So let's see if we can recharge it. There it is. Funny button key activated. Bring back to damage con and heals. And guess what? We can then charge up that funny button key with the secondary firing again. So look, I'll slam this thing in reverse. We'll get just basically a tanking position. And we're going to get secondaries focused on the Jaeger here. Take him out of the game. We don't want that torpedo threat lingering in the cap. And there it is. He goes down again. That's splash 4. And now we got the Iwami now. Okay, let's see if we can hold and tank against the Iwami. Let's see who can outlast who here. I've used up 5 heals already, guys. I'm at to 2.2 million potential damage. And look at that. That is how crazy the potential damage will take up. Pop the heal again. And let's see. We got to take on 3 ships here. 3 battleships here. Let's see if we can hold our own. Let's test the tankiness of the Valparaiso here. Funny button keys ready. We got secondaries focus. Pop that funny button. Bring back my last health here, or heal. You damage con that fire. You can damage con every single fire in this and the Valparaiso. You don't care because the funny button key will come back. Oh my goodness, everybody's firing at us. Everybody's focused. See, this is the cool thing about it. Everybody's focused on us and not on our friendlies, because now our friendlies can move into position and take these guys and expose their broadsides, which is why this ship is so freaking powerful. Everybody's focused on you, and it opens up the door for your friendlies to go then take the cake. Here we go. Palmer is now taking a brutal beating right here. And we are out of heals now, guys. So now we're just literally going to have to tank in raw damage here and see if we can outlast everybody. They stopped firing at us for some reason. And now we are going to take this advantage, and we're going to focus down the Palmer. He is the lowest health right here. And look at that. Oh, he goes down. All right, next guy, victim, will be the lowest health, Iwami. Always select the lowest guy health first. Allows you to eliminate 1 set of guns off the map to open up your friendlies to another weakling that you can take out of the game. All right, Iwami is almost dead here. Oh, he takes out. Man, look at that. We lost 2 guys. See, that's exactly why you got to really hold, because your teammates will go down really, really fast, because if they just throw their ships away that quickly, you're going to have to be the one that survives a long brawl here. All right, Iwami's taking a massive amount of hits right there, and we kill him. He's almost dead, and there he goes. The secondaries win the cake. 5 kills, 198,000 damage, 3 million potential. And now Imperanga's trying to run the cap here. Oh, we are about to lose. Look at this, 990 points. They are about to take the cake. We can kill this guy. Hopefully it saves the game. And look at that. Oh, actually, these reverse. We win the game by a comeback there. Look at that. Valparaiso making the comeback. Sorry, those points were taken back for. Is this game so much fun? You can really do a lot of comebacks if you just sit there, see how long you can hold and tank, and 200,000 damage, man. Holy crap. Number 1 on the team again, just doing the brunt of the worth of the force. 1,962 secondary shells fired. My gosh, I'm getting into the 1,000 to 2,000 range of fires. 77,000 damage and fires. Look at that, over 150,000 in damage of secondaries and fires alone. That means we are brawling a lot. Tanking 3 million potential damage, and guess what? I was spotting as well. 83,000 damage spotting, and I'm capping. I'm literally the new destroyer in this mode in a battleship. The battleship is the new destroyer for this game mode, and it's really enjoyable. Build a bit at the end of the video. I can't thank you guys enough. Try out this mode, guys. It is really, really fun. More people play it, the more it'll tell Wargaming to keep this mode and bring it back, and hopefully bring more players back at. But as always, before we leave, like, subscribe, button below. Thank you for all the supporters of the channel. We can't thank you guys enough. And if you see me out there, make sure you say hello, and you guys stay safe, and we'll talk to you soon. Cheers.